cleaning human hair out of the corners of bathrooms on my days off, not loving life. But you guys would come by and say, hey, we need listings, thinking of selling. I go, gosh, yes. Well, good, it's a hot market. Let's get listed. And I said, let me go ask Dad. And Dad said, he's always smart. He said, never turn down a profit. So we listed the thing, and I doubled my down payment. And I was hooked on real estate. And so we bought 12 units down the street, tripled my money in 9 months. Bought 91 units in downtown LA, doubled my money in a year. I'm now going to the University of Southern California, buying and selling apartment buildings from my fraternity house and having people take tests for me. Oh, I'm a real estate mogul. I expand to Seattle and Phoenix. I buy everything there is to buy. Negative down. You remember those days a long time ago when you could actually get money back at close and have no money into it? Oh gosh, that was me. And I own 400 units between Seattle and Phoenix. Anybody know what happened in 1980? Anybody back there? Anybody doing real estate back then? 20%. Remember 20% interest rates? What happens at 20% interest rates? Nothing happens. You have to check your phone for dial tone. Okay? And I lost everything. And I was young and stupid, so when you lose everything, you think it stops at zero. Let me tell you guys something. It can go way past zero. And so I graduated from college about $1.7 million in personal debt, and I said, Dad, what the heck do I do now? And he said, real men don't declare bankruptcy. You better get a job. It better be in sales, and it better be something big. Since the only thing you know is real estate, you better get a license. And so I started a new little independent firm in Southern California called JTM Brokerage, and boy, I had no idea what to do to make money in real estate in a rotten market. So I took a bunch of people out to lunch who were making money, and I asked them what they did. And you know what they all did? You know what they all spent most of their day doing? Generating listing leads, guys. So I copied them 30 years ago. And I improved on it. And then I made phone calls to West LA and top agents in Vegas I'd heard about, and I just sucked everybody's brains. And I implemented the best ideas, and for 35 years, that's all I've ever done. And so the goal is, how do I double and triple my listing inventory with motivated sellers that have a chance to sell in a rotten market? And so I had to find people that actually were interested in selling. FSBOs have advertised themselves as people interested in selling, so I started calling them, and they would beat the poop out of me. Is calling FSBOs any fun? Is it, guys? If you've ever tried it, they really suck your energy quickly. And so like everybody else, I'm a normal real estate agent. I didn't like doing it, so I did what? Stop doing it. Okay, it's pretty common. All right, but then at the end of the year, I'm a systems guy, so I figured out where my business came from, and I go, oh my goodness, I made 12 grand from 27 for sale by owner phone calls. Maybe that's something I should start up again. That's a good cost-benefit relationship, isn't it? But I couldn't bring myself to doing it. I hated it. It was like door knocking and cold calling. Hated it. And so I now had a pretty good relationship with my lender. You see, you guys are so nice here in the Midwest. I married a gal. You can't squeeze any more nice. Maybe you've done business. Her name's Lisa. Used to be Lisa Kelly. Now it's Lisa Sanford in Kankakee. Speckman Real Estate down in Kankakee. It's one of the top agents in Illinois. She's a studette. But you can't squeeze any more nice into her, just like you guys. And so you like to spread the business around, don't you? You like to give lenders you like to give your buyers lots of choices. And you like to spread the business around to lots of your lender friends. Look it's time to start picking a strategic team. Who's your 1 to 4 FHA VA go-to guy? Who is it? Well, whoever it is, I want him on your website under trusted affiliates. I want his picture and his resume. I want when you're making a listing presentation, you say, you know, not only do you have the best firm in the area, but you have more than one person looking after your goals, Mrs. Johnson. I've got to tell you, if I don't get my team in place, it's harder for me to guarantee a quality relationship and to achieve the goal of getting you closer to that condo on Lake Michigan in Chicago. So please, Mrs. Johnson, if an offer comes in and they aren't using the lender that I trust, I hope that we can go ahead and at least get your buyer, the buyer, pre-approved through the lender that we can trust. Is that an okay listing presentation? Listing presentations are always cool when you're talking about things that cost you no money. All right, is that all right? High perception of value, low cost in listing presentations. And so they go, yeah, Walter, team approach, yeah, everybody pulling in the same direction, yeah. So the offer comes in from Sandy, and it's got dietech.com on there. Do we have any pull at dietech.com? Buyer to be pre-approved at Eric at Wells Fargo Mortgage. After pre-approval, buyer is free to use any lender of their choice. That's not a hard counteroffer, is it? No more. Have lenders ever screwed you guys over? Have they? Stop it. Now, my lender kind of likes me because I do this. Do you think he'd like you too? Do you think he'd like you if you totally committed to him? And he said, hey, Eric, there's really no reason for you to come in my office anymore. I've been in this business for a long time, and I really don't need to see any more rate sheets. Is Eric at Wells Fargo competitive? Are all lenders really competitive? They're within 1/8 of a point of everybody else. Total yield on lenders is within 1/8 of a percent of everybody else. What's the most important thing of a lender? Closing the stupid deal, not the 1/8 percent, wherever it might be. So I commit to one lender. I say, you don't need to come in here and give me any donuts. Eric, I don't need any more donuts. You with me in that area? I don't need any sticky pads or pens. I don't need you to bother me and interrupt my chain of thought. And when you guys are interrupted, how long does it take you to get back to what you were doing? How long?
20 minutes.
Proven, about 8 to 15 minutes, guys. Every time somebody interrupts you, 8 to 15 minutes to get back to what you were doing. And you wonder where your day goes. Anybody ever had that 5 o'clock thing that goes, what did I do today? Okay, that's what you did today. You talked to Eric, your lender, who you don't need to talk to anymore. So Eric, stay the heck out of my office and just get these things closed. And be honest with me. If the buyer ain't going to make it, tell me now. Is that fair enough? And so I have this relationship with Eric where I'm getting him lots of loans. Does he like me? Hey Eric, I'm starting the new year. I want to capture the for sale by owner demographic in my town here in Oswego. You guys handle, who's Oswego in here? Yeah. And so I start my for sale by owner system. What's the first step? Because everything's a checklist. What's the first step? No. When do I do it? See, you got a calendar somewhere on your lap, okay? I know that on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock, I put together the FSBO inventory for that week. Is that okay? But on Monday, I had a seller call and says, Walter, I want to list my home at 11 o'clock tomorrow. What do I say? I love listings. I love sellers. What do I say? Mrs. Johnson, is there any possible way we can do it at 12, 12:30, 1, or 3? No, Walter, really, what part of 11 o'clock tomorrow didn't you understand? What am I doing tomorrow at 11 o'clock? I'm taking the stupid listing! Which means that I have to put off my for sale by owner appointment with myself, huh? You understand what time blocking is? Not absolutely written in stone, guys, but it's an indication as to I know what I need to do that day to make my money. So nothing's happening at 11 o'clock. Sandy comes in to want to talk. Am I very happy to talk with you at 11 o'clock on Tuesday? Sandy, can we do this some other time? And how many times do I have to say that to Sandy before she doesn't come in my office anymore? Eh? I love you, Sandy. You've been a good sport so far. And so 11 o'clock was the first step on Tuesdays. I check all the new for sale by owner inventory. Where do I find the for sale by owner inventory in Oswego? Yeah, but I don't want to get my fingers dirty, so I go to the online version of the newspaper, right? Okay. Where else? There are some small newspapers where really cheap FSBOs go, right? Isn't that correct? Like in our town, it's called the Grunion Gazette. Okay. Or the Shopper, or the Triple Nickel, or whatever they are. So on the ones that aren't online, I get a subscription, or I know where to pick that up on my way into the office on Tuesday. I pick up the really cheap stuff. Where else do I find FSBO leads on Tuesday? I want to be FSBO Central 11 o'clock on Tuesday. Where else do I find them?
Craigslist.
Craigslist, man. Where else? How about low-tech 3x5 cards on the sides of Greek restaurants? And the little boards there going in. Okay, where else? What? The really, really, really cheap FSBOs, what's their marketing plan?